Good tidings, everybody. It is I, You2Cool, back again, and today I have the Lenticular Piston Cup 3-card gift pack, which was released in 2010. As you can see over here, I pulled up the World of Cars Forum BDD. So yeah, even though I got these items loose, I have all the parts of this 3-pack. Richard Clay Kensington, Fred, and Marco Axelbender. Now, all these cars were exclusive to this 3-pack. And this Fred is actually a semi-exclusive variant, as comparing him to normal Fred here, you can see that his bumper is a separate piece that is meant to resemble when it's fallen off multiple times throughout the movie. This pack is based on the LA Speedway scene where Fred tries to get into the backstage garage area where all the Piston Cup stuff is happening. So yeah, it's really neat to have these 3 cars. Richard and Marco had fixed-eyed variants that were released as deluxes, which meant they were a little more expensive, and, they don't get releases often. They don't do deluxes much anymore these days, so it's really cool having 2 deluxes in my collection. Marco is actually pretty expensive normally. Neat. I'm going to start off with Fred here since he's a pretty small car. As you can see here, he's pretty damaged. A lot more damage than he should be. If there's any gray showing, then your Fred is chipped. I don't mind it though, since the whole point is that these cars are all dirty and rusty. That's the point of the Rusty's tent cars anyway. Fred has these really cool green windows. It contrasts his rusty brown perfectly. He even has painted mirrors, which I think is a really nice touch. He has mismatched wheels. And the infamous part, the falling bumper. You can see right there. He has really chunky teeth and a really chunky bumper. It kind of looks like Cocoa Pebbles, if you've ever eaten those. His license plate there says, I think, Kelsman, and then Fred, of course. Oh no, it says, hello, my name is Fred, because it's a hello, my name is type tag. Here he is compared to the regular Fred that doesn't have the fallen bumper. There was another Fred with fallen bumper released as a single, but he had the bumper stickers from an ending scene in the Cars movie where he had all the stickers for the Route 66 song. Kingsman, Barstow, St. Bernardino. Look pretty similar otherwise. I do think the concept of releasing Fred with his central gimmick of his bumper falling off is a really cool idea. I just think they could have done so much more with it. Because, like, he looks barely different. Like, if I showed you these two from afar, you wouldn't notice that one of them is different. You just think this guy has really bad rust. It's very... Yeah, it's weird how the decals differ so much. Especially the rust on the top. It's way darker. I've noticed that on these lenticular Freds. They look way... Like, they look like they're covered in coal dust or granite dust or something. Like if you have a pencil... You just drew all over them. There's just 2 expressions. That's it for Fred. Pretty nice, pretty nice. On to the 2 security SUVs. Marco, the one with the smile, and Richard Clay Kensington with the angry expression. I'm going to compare these 2 to a deluxe Cars 3 Mac. And you can see they're quite a bit smaller, but they're a bit bigger than your average size car. So here's Charlie Checker. Alright, I'm going to review these guys in tandem because they're pretty much the same. Like, they're designed to look similar. It's just one is smiling and the other isn't. That's really the only difference. I assume that's why they never re-released Marco. They just thought Richard was better to re-release, but it does stink that we haven't seen either of these two in action in quite some time. See, you got white doors and security on the back. Interestingly, these two actually share a license plate. Around this time, Cars diecasts tended to have the same license plates. 32592. 32592. Big old chip. I believe that means the back is plastic. No, I think that's a metal. Because they have these light blue plastic parts. They're not in the best condition, but for the price I got them at, I'd say it was worth it. It was around $31, which, considering these guys have moving eyes, and also these two are deluxes, Marco goes for nearly 40, I think, on his own without the lenticular eyes, so I'd say I lucked out here, quite frankly. Oh, wait, hold on. Do they have different grills? I think they might have slightly different grills. I don't know, Marco's looks a little bigger to me. I think that's just because of how the faces are. Cars characters tend to contort their faces a little bit. Yeah. Marco's just looks a titch bigger than Rich's. That's the only major difference, aside from the faces I can possibly think of. Marco's is straight up accurate to the irregular Marco diecast. Rich usually looks straightforward, though. He's just looking off to the side so that when he's looking this way, you know, there's no overlap. So yeah, he looks more shocked here. And then Marco has this sort of aggressive expression, which I think works if he's, you know, showing out nosy sidecars. I'm going to quickly compare them to another security car released in 2010. I have the 2023 re-release from a 5-pack. This is Marlin Clutches McKay. As you can see, they're all designed to have the same uniform, in quotes, because that's what this is supposed to represent. That's what these are. These uniform paint jobs. Got the side here. The roof and the doors, pretty much the hood is the same, but the other sides had to be accommodated for Marlin's smaller body. So as you can see here, security is on the doors and not the back area here because it's too small. It's on the trunk, but because of how the trunk is structured, it's visible from above versus where it wouldn't be. Over here, like this. Marlin doesn't have a license plate. That's pretty odd. Marlin also has white walls. I never made a video on Marlin. I might make videos on some cars I haven't reviewed at some point, but I don't really feel like doing it now. I like focusing on the new stuff because it's very interesting, and I tend to buy a lot of cars that not a lot of people think about or acknowledge in modern day. So I think I sort of uphold myself to the sort of standard of I like reviewing these more obscure releases, you know, like nobody else in 2024 is going to have Lenticular Marco. I don't think. Not to sound like I have a big head or anything. It's just I don't really see anyone else doing this sort of thing because, you know, this is something that's special to me. This is my hobby. It's something that I have that sticks out, and I like doing it. I like looking at these older obscure cars. It's always fun because the Cars line is just so expansive, you know? It's interesting. It's just interesting and fascinating to me to talk about this sort of stuff. So in conclusion, I think this pack is really great. If I'd recommend getting it, if you find it for a good price, I'd say so, but otherwise, I don't know. This is a very niche item. I don't usually recommend items just because I mostly review things just to talk about the cool stuff that I'm able to get because I like being able to talk about the things I have in my collection. It's a fun hobby. But yeah, if you like SUVs or just really interesting pieces of history, then I'd say go for it. I really am grateful for the seller for getting me this, and I'm also grateful for my parents for helping me fund this. You know, it's nice, really cool. Appreciate it. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, I'm really thankful for that. I had fun making this. I'm sorry I wasn't able to record it yesterday when I got these. It was really late. Anyways, that's all I had to say. Bye bye.